Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. Aren't you lucky you get two of me today? So, I usually don't struggle with video ideas, but I want to make a video today, at least on one of my two channels. And I have been struggling. It's like, what kind of video can I do to entertain the masses? And then I remembered this video I did a few days back, my 12 favorite albums of all time. And so I thought what I would do is read back some of the comments that my viewers left. They're some of them are letting me know their favorite albums, which I always love reading about. But there's this one particular comment that, you know, at the time when I read it, it kind of riled me up. It's like, oh, here we go again. Somebody, sort of complaining about the music that I love to listen to. But so we kind of went back and forth a little bit, as you will see, and it ended okay. He even sort of apologized. So here we go. Yeah, just reading some of these comments. Lucio, it's hard to say some of these names here, but give this person credit. So his favorites, number one is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. That's not a bad album. And then Abbey Road, Frank Zappa's Hot Rats, Maggot Brain. I need to listen to that album. I have heard it, but not in a long, long time. Sparks, Kimono My House, Ween, the Mollusk. The Mollusk, is that how you say it? Strange Mercy by St. Vincent, I've never heard. Boom, Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. Good album. Nevermind by Nirvana. PJ Harvey, I've heard a little bit of her music, but not very much. And then Pink Floyd's The Wall and Bitches Brew. And Painless 465. Number one is Exile on Main Street. Once again, Highway 61 Revisited, Bob Dylan. Derek and the Dominoes, Television. I had that album back in the day. John Cale. I never really got into John Cale's solo career. I love the Velvet Underground. What I have heard of him, on Spotify or whatever, I've really have liked. But Neil Young, Rust Never Sleeps is a classic. Secret Treaties. Pavement I never really got into. Ooh, Captain Beefheart, that also made my top 12. Bat Chain Polar. Love Talking Heads. Love the Kinks. And then some runner-ups. So yeah, lots of good albums there. S.J. Bang, 5764. Captain Beefheart, Patti Smith. Velvet Underground, Frank Zappa. Nicholas Pearl, number one, Pet Sounds. Song Cycle on my album reactions on Patreon. I listened to, I think it was Song Cycle. I think I've listened to the first two Van Dyke Parks albums. Song Cycle I really liked. The second album, not as much. Then Revolver, Badfinger, Beastie Boys, Frank Sinatra. I've never owned a Frank Sinatra album. Tiny Tim, I think he was underrated. I know people mock him and everything, but he did have talent. Not for everybody, of course, though. Brian Wilson, his first solo album. Randy Newman, I love. Yeah, Where You Love Like Heaven, Donovan. I love that album in the recent CD exchange with Glenn Calloway, although the album is From a Flower to a Garden, the double album. And Ringo, his debut album, his third, of course. James Wilson, Are You Experienced? Oh, he's going backwards here. So number one is Sgt. Pepper. The Dark Side of the Moon, Led Zeppelin 4, all your typical that a lot of people would have in their top 10. Rumors, Pet Sounds. Very good. Number 1, David Bowie. Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, Velvet Underground, and then some music I've never heard. Pansy Division, Hector, Alter Bra, Van Halen, Supertramp, Crime of the Century, my favorite Supertramp album. Coleco Silver. I agree 100% about Tales from Topographic Oceans, Larry. Like you, I find it unbelievably beautiful and moving. My favorite Yes album. Yeah, so it's, for most viewers, it's kind of your typical Pet Sounds, Dark Side of the Moon, Abbey Road, The Clash, Queen. Yeah. I don't know. I have no confidence when it comes to Glenn Kellaway and the CD Exchange. I gave him Paul McCartney's Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, even though he has it. He probably hasn't heard it in years. I don't. Yeah, it is indeed pure magic. My favorite by Sir Paul McCartney. Even better than Ram. I don't know if it's better than Ram, but for me, it's my favorite Paul McCartney album at the moment. But like I said, I don't know if Glenn's going to like it. I'm not holding my breath. And then there's A is for Alice, B is for Bob, Steve. Yeah, some different ones too. The Stranglers, The National, I've never heard. Rory Gallagher, cool. Number 1, The Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, Time. At some point, I'm going to be ranking the Electric Light Orchestra albums on Bill Aston's Spinning Magazine YouTube channel. So I don't want to say too much, but I have that box set again that was kindly sent by a viewer. And I've listened to Time just once, for the first time in quite a while, and it was good, very good. So anyway, yeah, the Beatles, Grand Funk, Lou Reed. Yeah, a lot of my viewers have very good taste in music. Just like me. Lots of Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix again, the band. There's Glenn. Okay, Computer, number 1. All Things Must Pass, number 1. So I'm going to get to that comment here, and I thank everybody that left a comment. Yeah. Hello, Larry, you are so right. Paul McCartney's Chaos and Creation in the Backyard is so underrated. This is one of my favorite albums from Macca 2. Sam St. John, he's never listened to a Yes album. Back chain, pull up. Yeah, so this is from Prager 11. And so I'm going to read what he says here. Saw his age. Right away, I know it's going to be some kind of negative comment, right? Guessed that he would have a limited taste in musical styles based on the era I suspected he came from. Guessed correctly. Oh well, they can't all be winners. So he lists his. Some I'm not familiar with. Of course, I know Tool. But, there's some classical. I don't mind classical music. I've just never bought any. But there's nothing wrong with classical music. I'm just more of a rock guy. But he's got the Beatles. He's got Pink Floyd. He's got Yes. And then he's got some jazz. So I guess compared to my list, what did I have? I had Sparks, the Beatles, Captain Beefheart, uh, Lou Reed, Bob Dylan, the Beatles, of course, Ween. But when I do these lists, I'm not trying to impress any of my viewers. I'm seriously not trying to impress anybody. Look what I like, because everybody likes different things, right? Let's get back to the comment. Yeah, so when he says, guess that he would have a limited taste in musical styles, which I don't feel, I'm mainly based in rock music, but there's all kinds of genres just in rock music. And I like old country, I like jazz rock, I like jazz. I don't know. So I just replied, I have far from limited taste, thanks. And then he came back. It's like a test, right? What's your favorite Black Country New Road song? And so I just replied back, never heard of them. I guess he deleted the comment where he came back figures, right? That I'd never heard of them. And then, it just kind of went back and forth a bit. And I just said, people like you take all of the enjoyment out of talking about music. Go listen to what you love to listen to, and I shall do the same. And then I found this quote, a music snob is a person who believes they have a superior and more refined taste in music than others, and a high level of knowledge in the music field in general, which I don't have. And then, like I said, he did kind of apologize. I apologize for coming across as trying to take the fun away for you. I apologize for coming across as trying to take the fun away for you. Believe it or not, that is genuinely not what I was trying to do. As a fellow passionate music fan myself, I guess I just find it heartbreaking to see so many people of a certain generation become so seemingly stagnant in their attitudes about art in general and music specifically. That's hard to say. You cannot tell me that your parents and or grandparents didn't scoff at the music you loved growing up. And I'm sure at the time you recognized that they were being closed-minded. But now that same thing has happened to you, and you're on here scoffing and laughing at lesser music of younger generations. And I'm not. Maybe it looks like I am. I just don't have an interest in it. It's just plain and simple. If you want to listen to the current music that I have heard, and I just don't care for it. The things I have heard. But he goes on. I just think if you opened up more, you would find a lot of modern music you would love. That's probably true. But I have so much old music that I can't keep up with, that I want to listen to. I've got these Moody Blues albums that are just amazing. And I haven't listened to any of them in like 2 months because I'm listening to other things. But he goes on. Anyway, sorry again for coming off badly. Blah, 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 blah. Peace and love, man. Yeah, and before that, I said my parents didn't scoff at the music I listened to, even if it wasn't their cup of tea. They respected whatever I wanted to listen to, and yes, I listened to my dad's old country albums. I also listened to jazz music, but no album made my top 12. My main focus is rock-based music and always will be. If someone likes heavy metal music, good for them. It is their choice. If all they listen to is heavy metal music. If someone dislikes the Beatles, it is also their choice. I don't care. I really don't. There's going to be people out there that don't care for the Beatles or Sparks or Frank Zappa or Canadian Studmuffin. Most of today's music does not interest me at all, just like it probably won't interest you in the future when you are the age I am. So I'm not sure how old this person is, but I'm thinking probably, in his 20s. And so, yeah, in 40 years from now, do you think he's going to be listening to the music of 40 years from now? Or is he going to be more interested in, what he's listening to when he's younger? Because that's, at least that's the way it goes for me. And I'm not saying all of us old geezers don't, some of us do listen to current music, and that's fine. But I just gravitate towards the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. That's my main focus of music that I love. And there's tons of music that I still haven't heard, from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So, yeah. And then, fair enough. I still think you only think you don't like current music because you haven't been exposed to the great stuff. But that's neither here nor there. I have no interest in being exposed to it. Just, I don't know, just some viewers seem to think you got to listen to current music or you're not, you're not hip or whatever. I don't want to be hip. I just want to be me, right? And I respect your take more now that you've clarified a bit. And I am happy to hear your parents didn't, in fact, look down on modern music. That is not always the case. Please tell me that one of those old country records you listened to was Dust Bowl Ballads by Woody Guthrie, one of the greatest country records ever recorded, in my opinion. And I just replied back, my dad didn't have any Woody Guthrie albums, and he never replied back. He was probably very disappointed in me. But yeah, it ended well. So thank you, Progger11. And, I just, that's the thing about doing this, right? Is all of us that talk about music, we talk about what we love. And I try not be negative. If I'm doing a list, the 100 greatest albums of all time, and I'm seeing some of, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying not to be snobby. And maybe it comes off that I am. So I apologize. But I just love the music I love. And that's as simple as it can be. So thanks for watching. I would love your thoughts in the comments section below. Bye.